Hello. Welcome to the Tim is Not Dead party. Yes!
Not dead yet.
Yes. There's still time. There's still 2.5 hours or however long. But
Do you want to explain the evening's events?
yes, I
As they may
do.
be?
I do. So, we're a little bit behind schedule, but that's fine. As we said, he's not dead yet, so still on schedule for that.
When is it planned for?
So, you've had the drinks and snacks. From now on, there will be no more drinking, please. Remain very, very sober and extremely hungry. Firstly, we're going to have some words from the man himself. Then we're going to have an open mic of poetry. So if anyone would like to perform some poetry, either on brand about death and life or not, on brand. And then we're going to have a short...
We must say, though, that we did have a mic, but we brought the wrong lead, so it'll just be without the mic, open mic. So open non-mic session. And because there's no mic, we have to ask you to be quiet when the poets are reading, like our lovely Princess Arushi, you know, amongst others.
Teacher's pet.
Sorry.
You're meant to be up here with me.
Oh, hi, I'm Rena.
So we'll have poetry open mic, and then we'll have a short theatrical performance.
Sorry, Rena.
A short theatrical performance of a brand new play written specifically for this evening by an extremely up-and-coming young playwright. Stop. Keep going. And then we will have a sing-along with Bob Wilkinson. So, if you want to do the poetry open mic, please just raise your hand once Tim is done. We'll bring you on. There will be time for everyone, don't worry. So, without further me talking, here is the man of the hour. He's not dead yet. It's Tim Kelly!
Okay, now, I'm going to do a little welcome, but I'm going to do it in poetic form, okay? And this poem is called Not Dead Yet, and it's been specially written for this occasion.
Is this part of the poem? What are you doing now?
No! This is the introduction! I've got such a thick audience, what can I do?
Please hold your questions till the end.
So please lend me your ears and silence your voices. And this poem contains my reflections on the last 18 months, much of which I spent in and out of hospital. I see they've got the lights on me. Is this for the benefit of the camera? And this is the reason why we're having this party tonight. Not the poem. That's not the reason we're having the party. No, it's the reason we're having the party is because I am not, like you, dead yet. Okay, so it might take a few minutes, so be indulgent. Okay. Must I go to hospital? It's just a sore throat. The doctor smiled a little as I buttoned up my coat and said, polite but imperious, there's probably nothing wrong, it's just to rule out anything serious. So off I went to get my endoscopy, all smiles and jokes as the nurse tossed to me a bottle of banana-flavoured throat spray. Take that, spray twice. It's rather nice. Then she stuck a camera down my throat and biopsy scissors while a man took notes and the doctor stared at the monitor, cut there and there and there and there. And whilst conducting his medical orchestra, his back was all that I could see as he did his work inside of me. When done, he asked, what have you seen? Did you see those white things on the screen? Nope, your back was in the way. Oh, may I ask how you'd like it? Like what? To know what I've seen there upon the screen? Yes, that's what I came for. But how much would you like to know? Doctor, is there a problem? Give it to me straight, I'll take it like a man. Well, we won't know for sure until the biopsy, and the graph's a little turvy-topsy, but I know my job, as do the lot of us. Malignant tumours of the esophagus. And being both stupid and a chancer, I asked, "What's that then?" He said, "Cancer." The dirty C word. The dirty, dirty C word. The average time to death from diagnosis is 18 months. My grim prognosis. But don't worry, Mr. Kelly. Please calm your fears. You've got a 1 in 5 chance of lasting 5 years. Chin up, he said. Though mine was stuck to the floor, and I couldn't get my chin up anymore, for below me a collapsing cliff edge had unfurled, and I watched stupefied the bottom drop out of my world. The doctor stepped forward and shook my hand, a weak, limp shake, cold and damp, with sorry eyes averted and hung down head. "Goodbye," he whispered, as though I were already dead. It goes on.
Oh my God, does he survive?
I left the bed, I left the room in shock to contemplate my doom. My goose is cooked, my chips are fried. A curse has come upon me, cried the albatross stuck in my throat. Yes, my goose is well and truly cooked. In other words, I'm fucked. So I wandered through the city streets, stared at everyone I'd meet. The banker, Clark, the sandwich maker, butcher, busker, Greg the baker, the drunkard with his clothes in rags, posh ladies with designer bags, a lover stroking his lover's face, men and women of every race, teenage boys, old fucks and curses, smirking girls, all universes compressed, compact before my eyes, and all alive, 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 joking, laughing, loving, talking, and I a ghost, a dead man walking. Till I came across the Russian beggar, who'd been living there, above the steps, despite the weather, a homeless man in ragged clothes. "Spare some change, sir." I grabbed his nose. "Tolstoy, you bastard, you lucky bum. Give us your vodka and pass the rum. You might be sleeping out here today, but you can just get up and walk away." "Me, lucky?" he said through matted hair. "Don't you live just over there, that big warm flat across the way?" "Me? I'd swap places with you today." "I see," he said, and passed the weed. Do you know how much land a man really needs?" "No," I said. So he bade me come to a far-off place beyond the sun, deep and dark with thunder, lightning. "Tolstoy," I whispered, "it's getting frightening." "Shh," he said, and took my hand. "I'll tell you just how much land a man needs to be set free." There was my grave, 6 foot by 3. So, back to hospital I go. The medics have me in their clutches. I'm just pointing that down because he's a doctor here. Nurses, doctors, surgeons, such is my fate for my time that's fleeting. And first of all, the oncologist meeting. Now, that's a chemotherapist to me or you. Doctor toxic if we tell truth. For despite his white coat and sturdy frame, Chemo the rapist is a more apt name. "So, treatment time," the oncologist said, after he'd examined me on the bed. "You're not too old, your heart is strong, a full dose for you 3 months long, to kill all carcinogenic mutation and prepare you for the operation." "Would there," I ventured, "be any side effects to your prescription?" Oh, I'll give you a full description, he said, rubbing his hands with glee. Nurse, bring the consent form and a cup of tea. So, pen and consent form on the desk, he sipped his tea and took a deep breath. Where should I begin? Dry mouth, cracked lips, split nails, cracked skin, your hair falls out, your veins will harden, you might go deaf. I said, pardon? He didn't appreciate the joke, the interruption while he spoke, but the nurse in the background giggled. His eyes narrowed and his thumbs he wiggled. Deaf and blind, he carried on with his chemotherapy song. Anemia, lethargy, constipation, sweats, cramps and palpitations, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, tinnitus, that's ringing in the ear, bleeding, bruising, immune collapse, impotence, infertility. Short term, I asked. Oh, permanent loss of ability. And just to emphasise the point, he bent his finger at the joint. But don't worry, we've got a nice sperm bank. You fill up the vials with first class... The nurse coughed politely, being polite. The doctor grunted and uttered, right. Redness, rashes, though you might get paler. Full kidney, liver and heart failure. In other words, we pour it in, it kills the cancer and everything else it meets, from your nose to your toes and your feet. By the time we're done with you, my son, you'll be crying for your mum. Is that all? I asked, ironic, fishing for a softening tonic. In your case, no. And I must stress, there always is the chance of death. So, I hope I've made that clear. Consent form, pen, just sign here. Oh, and if your heart stops, give us a call. Here's my number, I think that's all. Now, I'll skip the months of sweating, moaning, migraine, shakes, puking, groaning. So it's hospital to bite the bullet, and the surgeon cuts out my gullet, chucks my esophagus in the bin and pulls my stomach up to my chin, connects my stomach to my throat to keep me bodily afloat. Time in hospital was not much fun, but that's another story and not a pretty one. So I'll leave that for another day, and despite the horror, all I will say is thank God for the NHS. No, thank the people. I'd better stress our grandmothers and grandfathers who, and the Labour Party and unions too, the good people who with every breath fought for and made the NHS. Our grandparents who were very wise to give their grandchildren this prize. But with that thought my mind sours. What in hell will we leave ours? But on to the last stage of my cure. Chemotherapy, just a little more, Dr. Toxic coaxed. No, I'm just too weak. I'm barely standing on my feet. You were fine last time, you'll be fine again. So I took the last dose into my veins. Epirubicin, cisplatin, and Exceloda, better known as ECX. Sounds like a dyslexic substitute for sex. For like a demented love fever, it drips slowly into your arteries and rips all life apart. You're in its thrall. Cisplatting, most aptly named of all, ensuring you splat all you consume in every corner of the room. So I lay in bed, I puked, I moaned, I lost precisely 1 whole stone in just 1 week of ECX. It really isn't much like sex. And when I finally raised my head and yanked my sorry ass off my bed, I went to see the oncologist. Doctor, I said, I'm no biologist, but your cure is killing me. I've had such misery and pain, I'd rather die than take that stuff again. Goodbye, I uttered, put on my hat, walked out and said, That's that. So if ever this cancer thing comes back, I'll ask for morphine, get my bags packed, move to warmer climes, smile at the sun, walk into the sea, morphine inside, and then be done. So remember my 18 months to live prognosis? When I was given my diagnosis? Well, tonight is 18 months on, bar a day. If we make midnight, I'd like to think I'm here to stay. Though I suppose that's not very clever. We cheat death once, but not forever. Even the lucky black cat has only 7 before it heads to pussy heaven. And like me, to eternal death, each one of you is headed. So if to wild dreams you are wedded, don't waste time, procrastinate, and then find out it's just too late. Too late for you and 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 me. Tolstoy now lies in his 6'3". So whilst we wander here on earth, flowers in the desert, a momentary birth, a blink in universal time alive, blood pulsing, joy still in our eyes, with life and love and hope and dreams, my guests, my friends, my fellow human beings. Write this in the eternal book. Whilst you can, play, sing, love and fuck. For here we stand, still hale and hearty. So welcome to my not dead yet party. Thank you.
So who thinks they can beat that? Come on. We won't be mean. This is a safe space. It's not. Does anyone want to do some poetry?
We've got loads of people lining up. Mr. Purcell's going to come. Read us Do It in Dundee.
No, I'm not doing that one.
Oh, okay. Right.
I don't know this guy, but yeah!
Otherwise, we did one. I said earlier, I used to write under a pseudonym, but Tim seems to have a copy of the book with my real name on, which is really scary.
There's a reason why he wrote under a pseudonym, because his poems are not fit to be published in anybody's human name.
I'll do that one because that's not too rude. This one's called Bush Baby. I can't read it.
We need some more light down there, End. Have we got a light? Hang on, I'll just move this one here.
Oh, that's good. That's perfect. Right then.
I'll hold it.
Didn't need holding.
Yes, it does.
Right. On the paper.
As the surgeon said.
Right. You hold it steady. No, that's fine. That's good. Saturday night after our joint piss artistry, alcohol flowing through our carnal arteries. I look at you lying there, sleeping just next to me. I'm thinking about Auntie's half hysterectomy. All of a sudden a rush comes up over me, forcing my loins into senseless contortionary. I look at this precoital lob-on in front of me, thinking about Uncle's frontal lobotomy. Suddenly something primeval and right on cue forces my head downwards, seeking the core of view. I look at your bush, baby like in its purgatory, thinking about cousin's heart bypass surgery. Oh, and just as I tempt myself out of my hesitance, you mutter something of septic tank maintenance. I look at your consummate lips' moist coquetry. I'm thinking about Gran's replacement hip jointery. As gently I render the first kiss, all labial, my moustache all prickly and vaguely Clark Gablial. I look at the rash of my stubble-faced pervertry. I'm thinking about father's barbershop quarter tree. Maybe the next time I practice linguistic things on organs as fragile as butterflies' silken wings, I'll think of my family's vilest dismemberments and shave off my whiskers for your Fanny's pamperment.
Whoa!
Or do you fancy something more sophisticated?
Or Phil.
No, come back on next. Let's swap really quickly and you'll come on in a few minutes. Yeah. Who's next?
Who's next? Volunteers.
Arushi. Where's Arushi?
Arushi! That sounded like your voice.
I've been doing some experimental poetry recently. Yes.
In Alison's class. Yay!
So I wrote this one in her class, and I think it might fit today. So I'm going to read it. It's called Afterlife. The early years, those tears, splattered in blue, truth. Growing a little with green and yellow, youth was lush and full, truth. In love he admired, pink and purple, and grey was old age, truth. Rising from black ashes, truth, his life he saw again. Woo! I've got just one more, which I read in Cornwall, but it's kind of my favourite one at the moment. It's untitled. Our fingers laced and our elbows brushed, and silence lingered between us. We were so close, but our hearts weren't sure, and in your distant gaze, there was no love.
That seems like a cue for Jim to do some misery anti-love poetry. Oh no, Tim's going up. Yeah, Tim. Tim? No, Tim?
I need the whiskey.
Okay, yeah, give Jim his whiskey.
Right.
Okay, Jim will go and do one.
Whiskey-fueled poem.
Dr. Jim Clark!
Well, Jim Clark.
This is from a forthcoming collection called Women Who Weren't Worth It. I'm not normally allowed to read these poems because my girlfriend doesn't like it, because they're love poems to other women. What I've done is I've dug them out of the archive and I've appended, somewhat prosaically, the reason why those relationships didn't work out. So, where are we? I'll just give you one for now. I might revisit this later. I'd love to love again, to love simple and wild like not before. To love and hold her scented hand for its own sake in open air, and not need hope, like never was when consequence would follow if, and every we were only ghosts, so far below the catch of breath, the wild and simple press of skin to skin in love as could have been. I'd love to love again, to love her scented hand in mine, to feel without the press of consequence or need for hope for its own sake, to wake in open air and catch her breath and say, like not before, there are no ghosts, how real all is, simple and wild, her touch and kiss. She left me for Black Lesbian, she's now a negative.
She was right, Jim, she was right.
Okay, who wants to follow Black Lesbians?
Black Lesbians, we got any followers for Black Lesbians?
I can follow Black Lesbians.
Yes!
Okay, no.
Grab it out of the bag.
My classmate, and hopefully soon to be yours, Jen. Keep clapping! Yeah! Make her feel awkward about how long it's taken.
Let's have some white lesbians! Yeah!
This doesn't rhyme. It's about tracksuits.
Yeah, I like this one.
The wise man wears a full tracksuit. I know someone who wears a full tracksuit. I wanted to experience this tracksuit living, and I had a Pilates class to go to. So I said to my friend, I wonder, would you be ever so kind as to lend me a pair of Adidas, your tracksuit bottoms? as I have an exercise class to go to and fear I've not a stitch to wear. He said yes. He retrieved the garment from upstairs and handed it to me. I perceived the soft grey hue. I was immediately impressed and knew that the pantaloons and I were going to be firm friends. I went to the bathroom saying, I'd just go and check that they fit properly. But we all knew that I had fallen deeply in love with the tracksuit bottoms. And there was a moment of awkwardness. He said, I need them back though. I didn't commit to giving them back. I couldn't see his face anymore. I could only touch the fleecy, womb-like comfort of Adidas. I didn't change back into my rejected jeans, who had served me so well until then. I wore Adidas home. My friend watched me leave. None of us knew how to feel. I didn't wear them to bed that night, but I did wake up and put them on, leaving my jeans discarded, hanging over the end of my bed like a used and superfluous lover. I paraded about my house, the grey lady of rugby. Pilates class wasn't until that afternoon. We had hours alone together. After some weeks, I phoned my friend. I didn't want him to see me wearing his clothes. I needed to keep it hidden, like alcohol on the breath. He needn't know how far I had fallen. I reassured my friend that I would return his breeches just as soon as I had acquired my own, and that it would be in everyone's best interest if he would tell me where he had purchased said garment. He said, Sports Direct, and put the phone down. Our relationship had become strained. Wearing Adidas tracksuit bottoms, I went to Sports Direct and was immediately allowed in. I was clad in the relevant attire. I had been before and refused entry on the grounds that the staff could sense the mockery I carried on my bohemian brow. They could also see that sport and I could never be direct with each other. However, this was a new day. I was allowed in to browse at my leisure, a gluttonous display of leisure wear. I purchased a fresh pair of tracksuit bottoms, went home and put them on. I affectionately wrapped up my friend's freshly laundered brace of Adidas in brown paper and string with a note saying, I only hope that after this difficult and emotional time, that we can still be friends. I sent them in the post. We had a lot of healing to do before we could see each other again. I don't think that tracksuit wearing is something I'll ever get over. But perhaps with time, I will learn to control it.
Thank you, Jen. That was very brave. Who else wants to share their ideas?
Share your pain. Tim!
Tim?
Well, it's not a poem.
Oh, it's not a poem. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, what do you want to do? It's not doing a poem. Different.
Oh, actually.
And now a different Tim!
Yes! This is what's known as good Tim for some unknown reason.
This is good Tim, who also isn't dead yet.
Well, yes, on which theme? I'm going to read an extract from the well-known novel Lucky Tim, which I think is strangely appropriate. For those of you who don't know the novel, well, I would say that anyone who is or has ever been a lecturer at a British university should definitely read this. It should be required reading, because they will recognise the predicament of the hero, Lucky Tim, who is a junior lecturer at a provincial university in the UK, and unfortunately he's in his probationary year, which is probably familiar to many people who've been lecturers, and he's therefore in danger of not having his contract renewed, which means that he has to ingratiate himself with his annoying, elderly and oafish professor, who is called Professor Welsh. Okay. And so the context of this particular extract is that he's been invited by his professor to take part in a cultural weekend at his professor's house. And this involves things like playing the recorder, singing madrigals, performing French plays, and all the things that Jim, who's a bit of a Philistine, absolutely loathes. But of course he has to go along because he's got to ingratiate himself with his professor, and he's afraid that his professor isn't going to recommend him for renewal of his contract, which is a situation that many of us have been in. Actually, the connection with death, I should say, is that well, my only connection with death really is kind of feeling like death. When I've had a few too many at the end of a long and tiring week, and I found myself on the train, the last train going back from Coventry to Birmingham.
Like later tonight?
Well, you know, this could be like tonight. Yeah, having had a few too many. And this extract has been described by someone or other as the best description of a hangover ever written in English. Okay, it's pretty good. So basically, what's happened is that Jim, or should I say, Lucky Tim, he's gone along to this weekend. He's basically escaped from the house. He's gone off to the pub, and he's had a few too many, rather more than he thought was possible at the local pub. And he's come back late at night, broken into the house, his professor's house, and made his way up to his bedroom, and he's basically gone to sleep. So this is what happens next day. Okay, he wakes up. Dixon was alive again. Consciousness was upon
Sorry,
him.
I don't know that.
Special guest star, Alexa.
Okay, she's gone. The ghost of Alexa's gone. Let's start again, go on. Yeah.
So was that an electronic heckle?
Basically, yeah, that was from the virtual world. They
So, Dixon was alive again. Consciousness was upon him before he could get out of the way. Not for him the slow, gracious wandering from the halls of sleep, but a summary, forcible ejection. He lay sprawled, too wicked to move, spewed up like a broken spider crab on the tarry shingle of the morning. The light did him harm, but not as much as looking at things did. He resolved, having done it once, never to move his eyeballs again. A dusty thudding in his head made the scene before him beat like a pulse. His mouth had been used as a latrine by some small creature of the night, and then as its mausoleum. During the night, too, he'd somehow been on a cross-country run and then been expertly beaten up by secret police. He felt bad. He reached out for and put on his glasses. At once he saw that something was wrong with the bedclothes immediately before his face. Endangering his chance of survival, he sat up a little, and what met his bursting eyes roused to a frenzy the timpanist in his head. A large, irregular area of the turned-back part of the sheet was missing. A smaller, but still considerable area of the turned-back part of the blanket was missing. An area about the size of the palm of his hand in the main part of the top blanket was missing. Through the 3 holes, which, appropriately enough, had black borders, he could see a dark brown mark on the second blanket. He ran a finger round the bit of the hole in the sheet, and when he looked at his finger, it bore a dark grey stain. That meant ash. Ash meant burning. Burning must mean cigarettes. Had this cigarette burnt itself out on the blanket? If not, where was it now? Nowhere on the bed, nor in it. He leaned over the side, gritting his teeth. A sunken brown channel, ending in a fragment of discoloured paper, lay across a light patch in the pattern of a valuable-looking rug. This made him feel very unhappy. Feeling sensibly increased when he looked at the bedside table. This was marked by 2 black charred grooves, greyish and shiny in parts, lying at right angles and stopping well short of the ashtray, which held a single-use match. On the table were 2 unused matches. The remainder lay with the empty cigarette packet on the floor. The Bakelite mug was nowhere to be seen. Had he done all this himself, or had a wayfarer, a burglar, camped out in his room? Or was he the victim of some hauler fond of tobacco? He thought that, on the whole, he must have done it himself, and wished he hadn't. Surely this would mean the loss of his job, especially if he failed to go to Mrs. Welsh and confess what he'd done, and he knew already that he wouldn't be able to do that. There was no excuse which didn't consist of the inexcusable. An incendiary was no more pardonable when revealed as a drunkard as well, so much a drunkard moreover, that obligations to hosts and fellow guests and the counter-attraction of a chamber concert were as nothing compared with the lure of the drink. The only hope was that Welsh himself wouldn't notice what his wife would presumably tell him about the burning of the bedclothes. But Welsh had been known to notice things, the attack on his pupil's book in that essay, for example. But that had really been an attack on Welsh himself. He couldn't much care what happened to sheets and blankets, which he wasn't actually using at the time. Dixon remembered thinking on an earlier occasion that to yaw drunkenly around the common room in Welsh's presence, screeching obscenities, punching out the window panes, fouling the periodicals, would escape Welsh's notice altogether, provided his own person remained inviolate. The memory in turn reminded him of a sentence in the book of Alfred Beesley's he'd once glanced at. A stimulus cannot be received by the mind unless it serves some need of the organism. He began laughing, an action he soon modified to a wince.
Vision of our future tomorrow morning. Who else would like to read? Anyone? Mr. Purcell, would you like to read your second?
Really?
Well, no one else is volunteering, so...
I am.
Please, welcome back He was meant to be up here already. Renner!
Let me try and find it. Okay, here's the thing. I only almost died 4 times, and now it's lost grade. But I didn't write about any of those. It just, I pulled this one out of my ass this afternoon just to bring to the party, so it's pretty basic. Please go easy on me.
Don't go easy on him.
Alright. What the hell are you crying about? I'm the one who should be glum. I didn't put my helmet on, which admittedly was dumb. And I know, you always said, be careful when you ride, but that bitch came out of nowhere and her van was fucking wide. Alright, I might have had just a little drink or two. 10, 13, do shots even count? Yeah, I never listen to you. That's no reason to be crying over milk that's on the floor that got spilled just like I did all over Route 24. Okay, bad joke. I take it back. Sorry about that, I know I suck. But isn't it great that I can still laugh over being such a schmuck? So anyway, how have you been? Other than, the grief. Funeral service was real nice, though the caterer was a thief. You hear that? My little sis is crying. Are you gonna pick her up? Come on, get out of here. Clean the house, feed the pup. Be useful again, don't just moan. Close the water gates, hit the town. Just wear a helmet when you leave, just in case you get mowed down. Sorry, I'll curb the jokes. I hear Nana prays for me. Tell her I said thanks and that things are how they're meant to be. I don't want Dad to drink again, so tell him I said no more. He'd always tell me to go easy, so what the hell's he drinking for? Little sis is still calling. Come on, she needs you now more than me. She's gonna do some awesome stuff, I tell you just wait and see. Look, I know that you can't hear this, you can't feel me or even see, but, I mean, come on, Mom. Please don't cry for me.
I feel I should make a joke after that. Kind of bringing down the mood I've established, but whatever. Who's next?
Who's next?
Great.
Ray,
Ray.
you haven't done anything. Come on, Ray.
I wrote these two for Tim's birthday last year. They're a bit shit because he was pretty ill and I thought I could get away with it. But,
Yeah, you can't now. Start again.
Alright, so I suppose it had to be a villain now because Tim told me how to write them and I hate them, but at the same time. You can't bump off a legend with a plot twist so bland. Pub-fueled writing is safe refuge in a world sent crazed. That's what I was once taught by an Irish Yorkshireman. Some take what they need, others opt to grab what they can. Object to objecting. Free thinkers should learn their place. You can't bump off a legend with a plot twist so bland. An atheist in Whitby treads upon holy land. Perfection is small town, swathed in green peace, sea and quays. That's what I was once taught by an Irish Yorkshireman. True horror lurks in the mind of the loyal Hitchcock fan. Human condition rips back shower curtain, knife raised. You can't bump off a legend with a plot twist so bland. You have to grip onto your reader's attention span with story claws, eviscerate cliche and amaze. That's what I was once taught by an Irish Yorkshireman. Try mapping things out, but life screws up and bins the plan. The artist holds onto his bottle and pen, unfazed. You can't bump off a legend with a plot twist so bland. That's what I was once taught by an Irish Yorkshireman. This one's really quick. It's called Tim Kelly, A Work of Art Still in Progress.
I am.
Our Father, who art in uni, who art in the pub, who art in the art of art and teaching art and artfulness and heart, hallowed be thy name. In the corridors of academia, in the Writers' Hall of Fame, in Whitby and in Greece, and when we call you by the same, for you shall triumph for years and years to intake your daily naan bread and beers. Still, hallowed be thy name, as we worship at the altar of relief and baptize strength in grateful tears. Hallowed be thy name.
Who's next?
You.
Yeah, come on, you read this one.
I was going to save this for later, but speaking of death, that reaper grim, what I say now, I say to him. I bet you're feeling pretty dim, and to gloat is not proper or prim, but tonight we defy his ghoulish whim. So fill your glass up to the brim and chorus thusly, he didn't get Tim! Apparently if you toast with an empty glass, you're actually condemning the person to death. It's fine. Whatever. Mr. Purcell, would you like to read your second one?
Come on.
Other people have done
Do it
it.
even than me.
Yeah.
Do it even than me.
Spades. For some reason, I have to put a different accent on when I do these poems.
Hang on, how come that volume is from 30 years ago? Have you got any modern ones? Or? Ah, okay.
I've got
that was the best.
Some Tory hating poem in there.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
I hate euphemisms, they drive me insane. Why can't people use language that's plain? Legitimate reasons, I haven't found any to explain why men say, "Oh, spend a penny." Don't be perturbed, but I must tell you this, I'm going upstairs to the bog for a piss. With the seat lifted, I hope I don't miss, so don't be surprised if you hear a faint hiss. They couldn't have known the confusion their comments caused to a young lad like me, quite unknowing of nature's laws. Else why would these women, assuming strange poses, have claimed to be leaving to bow to their noses? I'm just stepping out now, I hope it's all right, to pull down my panties, deposit my shite, assuming, of course, if my ring's right, to let sit out my turds without a great fight. Remember the plank that was put on the barber's chair? Short back and sides, and the tears for your severed hair. What did he mean when he said to my brother's friend, "You'll be wanting to take something for the weekend"? Do you want a condom to put on your cock, to soften the blow, to shorten the shock, to hinder your sperm and your egg getting locked? Do you want a condom? I've got some in stock. Oh, I cannot abide all the smug, smiling hypocrites, pretending they're aristocratic sophisticates. There's nothing worse than to hear from these liars the crassness that ladies don't sweat, they perspire. Rude, isn't it? Really? Stop! I have to self-censor now.
No, go.
When a woman's excited, a cunt loves you sweat, happy to take any cock she can get. It's then while she's fucking her wage of this bet, her tits, arse and armpits are dripping with sweat. As you can see, I don't mince my words, it's important to me to call my turds turds. And when I've decided, my mind clearly made, I like to call a spade a spade.
Whoa!
Okay, so I think we can agree that the seal has been broken on bad language. So if anyone was censoring themselves for any reason, please don't. Who else would like to read? Who else will perform? Or anyone? Well, why don't we have a short break, get some more refreshment. You won't be allowed to have any while the play is on. So please take a short break and then we'll be back with a short theatrical performance. How you doing? It's good to see you. Still not dead? Me neither. Look at us, just a couple of living people, not corpses. This is great. Yeah. L'chaim, or however you say that.
Woo! Yeah! Get out of the way. Not dead! Banging!
I didn't invite you, Death.
Yeah, I just turn up places. But everyone loves about me.
No one loves anything about you.
Anyway, it's my party.
No, it's my party.
Hold on, because this thing just went out on me. Yeah, but it's about me. It's like when Meghan Markle showed up to the royal wedding viewing party.
She didn't do that.
Yeah, she's not as classy as I am. Anyway, how have you been?
What, since you tried to kill me?
Huh. How are you? Yeah, yeah.
Look at your lines.
I look at it. Alright, yeah. Buddy, look, I didn't try to kill you, okay? I'm dead. I don't try to kill people. People just die whenever I turn up, like Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney isn't dead.
I mean, I'm like Dick Cheney. So, you know, don't go around telling people that I'm trying to kill you, because that's insulting to my craft. But anyway, yeah, how are you? I really want to know.
Shouldn't you know already?
Do you know everything going on with the parasites in your stomach? Huh? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm good. Kick that diagnosis in the ass. Yeah, fuck that, doctors.
I know, right? Fuck doctors. I mean, just let people die.
No. No.
Oh, right, yeah. Anyway, to you, the one who got away.
Please don't call me that.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Life.
Wait, you invited Life?
Yeah.
What? Why would you invite him and not me?
Well...
If you say Life of the party joke, I'll scream.
He's fun.
What the hell he is? Have you read the news?
He's still someone you'd want around.
Life's someone who screwed you over in the first place.
How's that?
Don't you get it? Life is the hot one you all want to get with, who strings you along for a while and then dumps you and leaves you in the dry when things get lurch. I'm the one who cares. I'm the one who lets you stay with me and loves you forever. I take you in no matter what. Life is always making demands about oxygen and water and not drinking mercury. Life doesn't give a shit about you.
I never thought of it that way.
Humans never do.
Hey, life, you suck.
Oh no!
I mean, I think you're kind of crummy.
You want me to leave?
No.
Because I will if I'm that awful.
What I meant was, Death here was saying that...
Oh, what a surprise. Death shows up and makes everything worse.
Hey!
Well, don't you have an appointment in Samara to get to?
Like you're so much fun.
I'm the reason we're all here.
It's my party. It's a not dead party. No one mentions you. No one has parties about you.
It's a not dead party.
What about birthdays?
Except birthdays.
Everyone has parties because of me. Every party is because of me.
You shut your whore mouth, okay? Everyone wants to celebrate that I'm not here, okay? That makes me sound like a dork, but it's still the point that I'm the entire reason for all of this, all of human endeavor.
Come again?
I mean, if it was just him, you know that prick over there? I mean, nothing would ever happen. None of you would ever get anywhere or do anything. What, you think they were in the Garden of Eden filming Citizen Kane or inventing the internet? I'm the impetus, okay?
No.
Yeah. I'm the fun one.
Not so?
Yeah?
I make cute puppies.
I make bacon.
I plant flowers.
I kill weeds.
I make food right.
I know Freddie Mercury, Kurt Cobain, Buddy Holly, Whitney Houston. You hang with Vladimir Putin and Prince Philip.
Okay, you can visit them whenever you want.
I don't want to hang with them.
Guys, maybe we need both of you.
Dude.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
Theatre at its finest. I'm happy to be alive, but I know that one day death will come, and I shouldn't be afraid of that. And until then, I should just make the most of my time with my good friend life.
I'm actually going to go to a bear party, or I'm going to climb around and watch the sunset, or I'm going to watch a bird. I don't know, I'm strange.
Well, don't be a stranger.
I'll do whatever I fucking want, alright? There's like 7 billion of you fucks.
I think maybe you should go too, Death.
Why?
Well, when it's just you, you know, it's meant to be a not dead party.
Fine, I'll leave. But I'll see all of you soon. Even sooner now that you've watched this crap.
That's the end. And now another break. Yay! Thank you.